I don't know how long that was. I didn't time it because I'm bad at this whole thing. So let's see what goes on.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
Prosecution
Is ready.
The defense is ready, my lord. Readiness for the trial, my learned Nipponese friend, is not what the defense needs. What you need is readiness for your inevitable defeat. It's not just in my imagination, it's really there. Lord Van Zieks has such an animosity towards us Japanese for some reason. It was some time ago now that he first became known as the Reaper of the Bailey, I believe. These past few years he hasn't appeared in court at all. Yet now he's back in the courtroom, but for some reason, only when I'm defending. This Reaper, with his curious disdain for us Japanese, is a prosecutor shrouded in mystery. Still, this isn't the time to be pondering that. I have to concentrate on Sozeki-san's trial. Yes, sir.
Furthermore, I now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You have been chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to fulfill your duty?
Mr. Fairplay, again.
Absolutely. I had a feeling that this larrikin wasn't innocent before.
Oh, it's just the same jurors from the last night. I must say that I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat refuses to sit right. Oh, well, I rather like how you're wearing your hat. I think the ruthless look is very fetching, actually. Oh, no, she's new. Oh, because, Joan is not available.
I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. Let's have a very important meeting. Let's make this quick.
I couldn't agree. I need to take home 5 bob tonight or the missus will go through the roof.
Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict.
Hello there, juror number 4. The British jury system is so very different to our own, isn't it? It's quite extraordinary to think that the power of the judgment is in the hand of these 6 members of the public, and that the judge can only pass sentence when all jurors are in agreement about the defendant's guilt. 6 citizens of London chosen at random, or at least that's the idea.
The prosecution would draw attention to the fact that the accused was on trial here but 2 days ago. Accordingly, where possible, the same jurors have been asked to return for duty today.
Thank you for at least acknowledging it.
Very well, let us commence the trial. Lord Van Zieks, your opening statement, please. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is not the intent of the prosecution to cast doubt over your past decision. However, the innocent verdict afforded to this eccentric Nipponese before has had dire consequences. Did the accused repent for his wrongdoing in that affair? Far from it. Instead, he used his freedom to perpetrate a most blood-curdling crime, namely that of the attempted murder of his neighboring lodger, an innocent Englishman. To explain the circumstances of the crime, the prosecution calls its first witness to the stand.
Taking it off early, I see.
The detective responsible for investigating the scene and the accused himself.
I feel like that comma gives the wrong impression. If this is Britain, where the Oxford comma is, you know, it's Oxford, but like, that makes it seem like he's the detective responsible for investigating the scene and he's the accused himself. At least in my mind, that's how I read that sentence with the comma there.
Witnesses, your names and occupations, please.
Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard's Homicide Division.
Sozeki Natsume from the Empire of Japan. My government ordered me to come here as a student to study your language and culture. Mr. Natsume. Yes, my lord, sir. I'm quite sure I'm not mistaken that you swore an oath to never set foot in my courtroom again. I remember it as if it were yesterday. The day before, in fact, my lord, but close enough. Ugh, believe me, this is the last place I want to be. Inspector, let's hear from you first. Explain the case to the court. Explain the case for the court.
Right you are, sir. The incident occurred at the Garadev household where the defendant has lodgings. In the ground floor of the room of the victim, Mr. William Shamspeare. The defendant has already admitted to visiting the victim. On the night in question, Mr. Shamspeare collapsed in his room as a result of poisoning by strychnine. Oh. Strychnine, okay. Strychnine? Strychnine? Probably strychnine. Strychnine poison, I think that's Danganronpa if I remember correctly. At least it shows up, I don't remember if it was used or not. He was found full in mourning when the landlord, suspected something was wrong, broke down the door.
This means, I presume, that the door to the victim's room was locked at the time of the incident.
Correct, my lord. It was locked from the inside, making entry to or exit from the room impossible. Well, the victim, Mr. Shamspeare, lives to tell the tale. He very nearly didn't. The man was halfway to heaven when I first found him. I was the first officer on the scene, my lord. I have a photographic print here that I took at the shrine to show how it looked.
Yes, a chilling scene indeed. The man looks very much deceased.
That's right. Everyone present believed that's exactly what it was.
Very well, I shall accept this photographic print as evidence for the corpse. Now then, Mr. Natsume. Yes. Has the defendant do have anything to say at this juncture? I didn't do it. They're haunted by evil spirits. Good gracious, what's haunted? My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. The tenant before me died in mysterious circumstances. A woman was stabbed by no one in the street outside. My neighbor was poisoned. And me? What about me? I've nearly been killed countless times. Killed? Mr. Natsume? How? Even on that fateful night it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed. Before long, the stove went out, and someone tried to kill me. Must always extinguish all fires before retiring for the night, Mr. Natsume. But it's so cold, my runny nose would freeze. The point is, I didn't poison my neighbor. Why am I being accused of this? Why is my existence so cursed? Thank you, witnesses. I believe I have a reasonably clear picture of events. If I could raise one conclusive point. Conclusive, go on. Fortunately, the victim, Mr. Shamspeare, has regained consciousness after his ordeal, and he has named the true culprit. The poison consumed by the victim was administered in a cup of tea that he drank on the night in question. Tea, my lord, that was brought to the victim's room by the accused. The accused? Good grief!
Dear, you really done it this time, Sozeki-san.
Order.
Yes, that's the crux of this whole case. Sozeki-san is innocent, then why? Why has the victim accused him?
Well, Mr. Natsume, what have you to say to this accusation? That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea to me with me when I visited Mr. Shamspeare's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought bottled water especially to make it. And this is the result. Never will I touch tea again. Never.
Public pump was frozen, you say? That's not information we heard before.
That will do, thank you. Now, according to our rules, the defense must have the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses at least once. Therefore, I call upon these witnesses now for a formal testimony. I presume the prosecution has no objection? None whatsoever, my lord. Good, then you will give your account of the events on the night in question to the court now. Easy, my lord.
And I'm Kanye West. Catastrophic.
It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor and I took some tea with me as a gift. We had a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11.
Oh shit, I didn't mean to.
My tea was completely harmless. He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, could he?
Strychnine takes some time to have an effect on the body. People won't keel over immediately after taking it. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guest left. The argument still stands. That's it?
Yes, I see. It all seems relatively straightforward.
Which means it's not, dude. Excuse me, but... excuse me, but... Huh? The testimony does raise one rather crucial point, I think. Mr. Natsume claims his tea to have been harmless. Presumably, though. The teacups have been examined for traces of the poison, haven't they? Why didn't I think of that? Well, as it happens, no. I haven't been able to.
Hear you correctly, Inspector. Scotland Yard has failed to examine the suspect's substance.
How could you have overlooked something so important? Isn't that the first thing you should have done?
My learned Nipponese friend is falsely incensed.
The inspectors at Scotland Yard was unable to examine the tea. Not that it was overlooked. Yeah, that's on you, buddy. Unable? Why?
Simple enough. There was none left, not a drop.
One must have been very thirsty indeed.
With current scientific techniques, it's not possible to test for poison under such circumstances.
We only need a drop, but that one drop does actually need to have to exist, funnily enough.
A lack of examination notwithstanding, it appears nothing other than the tea passed the victim's lips on the night in question. I see, thank you. Matter is clear. Cast your eyes over the jury, my learned friend.
What?
You can see it in their faces, I'm sure. The recognition of the accused's guilt. Your client's fate is all but sealed. In mere moments from now, you'll lose, and your compatriot will be damned for all eternity.
He's right. I can feel all 6 of the jurors looking daggers at me. But I can't let them beat me down. I won't.
Counsel for the defense proceed.
Yes, my lord. My lord, I'll name me Lord, who's a swell I'm a tub. What was the name of this testimony? I didn't even pay attention to it. A catastrophic night. Okay.
Hold it!
Were you and your neighbor good friends then?
No, we weren't friends, not at all. Not at all. Never, ever.
A simple no would have sufficed. Then, why did you decide to pay him a visit?
Mr. Shamspeare fancies himself as having great literary knowledge. As a fellow scholar of English literature, we find much to talk about together. Come now, no Nipponese could understand the finer points of English literature.
Oh, Vanny, don't be like that. And on the night in question, that was the topic of conversation as well, I presume.
It was the day of my last trial when I was acquitted. I'd just arrived back at my lodgings when I ran into Mr. Shamspeare outside on the street. That was around 6 o'clock. We exchanged 1 or 2 pleasantries, but it soon turned into a heated discussion. He was on his way out at the time, so I promised to visit his room that evening at 9 to continue our debate, but did I have ill intentions? No, not one, not two, not any, not at all. Never, ever.
Well, no would have sufficed, I feel.
Then tell the court what did happen when you visited the woman's room.
Heated debate. Okay. Oh, no, not present. Whoops.
Hold it!
Hold it. Literary debate about Shakespeare's words, I think you said, didn't you?
Shakespeare, a very worthy topic of conversation, I must say. Oh yes, my lord, Romeo and Juliet, who was stronger? Was a profoundly pleasurable parley. Romeo and Juliet, who was stronger?
I know I'm gonna regret asking this, but how did the debate go?
Well, we both agreed that we would reach a conclusion more quickly with a reenactment. We battled it out in a Greco-Roman style, naturally.
What?
Mr. Shamspeare had all sorts of costumes in his room for just such a contest.
And when you say a reenactment, you mean you were actually in costume?
He is Romeo, I is Juliet. and after a vigorous wild tussle, I, as Juliet, came out on top, a victory I'll cherish forever. I dare not imagine the terrible scene of carnage. The fact remains that it was you who prepared the tea and took it to the victim. Correct. I boiled the water in my room and made a pot to take with me. I'd heard that he was too poor to have tea himself, you see.
It's true, there was no sign of any tea leaves in the man's room.
I wanted to do something nice, to be friendly. But why is everyone looking at me with such suspicion? My tea was harmless, of course it was. Do you have any basis for that statement, witness? Well, my tea was completely harmless. He couldn't block the door behind me otherwise, could he?
No letter openers? I'm refined temperament. Bright-handed. I'm sure that won't come into play at all. Probably it will. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't. I don't know. This is the teacup from which Mr. Natsume was drinking. Yes, unlike the other one, the cup inside of the cup is completely clean. I suppose he must have drunk the contents before the tea had a chance to leave a mark. I always gulp it down too. Sorry, Mr. Naruto? Well, if you sip it little by little, it goes cold. Clearly, I shall have to instruct you in the proper way to take tea. This must be the cup that Mr. Shamspear was drinking from then, stained on the inside. Tea does that, I'm afraid, even green tea. Oh, really? I've never noticed before. You've never noticed? Well, I never leave it in the cup long enough to leave a mark. I like to gulp it down. Drink tea while it's hot. That's the Japanese way, isn't it? Oh dear, so many people seem to have the wrong idea about our culture. And most of them are Japanese. Okay, good reaction from Susie there. That was funny. Bum 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 ba ba da ba. Oh, what is it, Mr. Naruto? This bar of soap. When I first found it, I could have sworn there was some sort of round disc in this depression. Just here, a reddish one. Yes, you're right. I remember too. Now the depression is completely empty. Where the disc have gone? That's good to know. We gotta do this again, huh? Oh, that's exciting. Let's press the man again. Oh.
Hold it!
Buttons, buttons, buttons. Yes, there was not a drop of tea left in the victim's room anywhere, was there? That's correct. Anyone would think the fellow had never had a pot of tea before. He must have licked it dry. Which is a pity, because one drop is all we would have needed to analyze it for poison. And you say that you returned home to your room at 11 o'clock, Mr. Natsume?
Yes, definitely. By heaven and earth, I swear it.
The landlord was able to verify that as it happens. Confirmed that the defendant went back to his room at 11 that night.
How was the landlord able to attest to this?
It was the lamps, I believe.
The lamps, Inspector?
Tenants returned to their rooms to start using gas. The lamps in other parts of the house flicker. Yes, Mr. Garrett seems to pay a lot of attention to the comings and goings of his tenants.
There's only one key to Mr. Shamspear's room, I know that for certain, so he must have locked the door himself from inside his room.
The victim confirmed that to be the case, yes.
So I'm right, my team was harmless, completely harmless. If you take poison, you die. Everyone knows that.
It's not that simple, I'm afraid.
Well, what do you mean?
Press it all. Yeah, no, I've had the same thing happen, Blue. How long does it take for symptoms to appear, then? According to the coroner, I was speaking to at the yard, about 30 minutes after the poison is consumed. Then the victim suffers violent convulsions, cramp, and stiffness, and eventually dies from asphyxiation. This 30-minute interval between when the poison is ingested and the onset of symptoms. We've got a lot of different types of poison in the world, that's for sure. Oh dear, death by poisoning again. It's always so awful.
30 minutes is a long time. Certainly long enough for the victim to have locked the door behind the accused after he left.
You can't deny that.
Further degrades Saseki's alibi. I have the medical report from the doctor who examined the victim here, my lord. Spells it out early. The accused is the only person who could have done it. Very well, the court will add this report to the court record as evidence.
Oh boy, here we go. Let's read it myself. Come on. Come on. Just of a small quantity of strychnine. Toxic effects present 30 minutes after ingestion. High likelihood of the substance having been mixed with the tea the victim was drinking, but no sample could be obtained for testing. No container for the poison was found at the scene. Poison occurred at 11:30 a.m. on 21st February. Okay, interesting.
Great.
What's probably going to happen here is that I'm not supposed to contradict anything. I have to press everything and it's going to go into summation. That's what I'm guessing. The argument still stands, you say? This is what Mr. Natsume's been saying, isn't it? Pair of them drank tea together that night, so there was poison in it. The victim wouldn't have been able to lock the door after the accused left later on.
Exactly. Me and my tea are innocent. Sweet and innocent, I tell you.
I'm afraid, sir, that doesn't follow. You see, strychnine is a slow-acting poison. In other words, it takes time for the symptoms to appear. So you could have left up the room to 30 minutes after the victim drank the tea. As long as you did that, Mr. Shamspear could have locked the door after you'd gone.
But no! We drank the tea straight away. Battle over whether Romeo or Juliet was stronger. That came after the tea.
Do you have any evidence of that statement?
In my great homeland, the Empire of Japan, we have a saying. Drink tea while it's hot.
Sure, a proverb will satisfy the prosecution.
I'm afraid there's no conclusive proof to support the defendant's assertion. That's what the word was. On the contrary, there's sufficient grounds to infer his guilt in the matter. No.
That's the extent of their testimony, is it? You could voice a personal opinion, Mr. Naruto. Of course, go ahead. Mr. Natsume is arguing for his innocence, so adamantly and so persistently. Inspector strikes and just brushes what he says aside. It's really quite infuriating. I agree, so we need to find inconsistencies with what the inspector is saying, I think. I'm afraid so. As things stand, the jurors are sure to find Mr. Natsume guilty. As I see it, what we need to focus on is the poison and the tea. Okay. Yes.
Hold it!
Oh shit, I didn't mean to. Alright, not bad. Well, let's start here and see what I can find. There looks to have been a gas leak. That's unfortunate. Let's see. Let's look at the. Is it that, if he took so long to drink the tea, I don't know, what, he should have died in the intervening time. He should have died before the tea was finished, I guess.
Objection!
No, that's not it. Gosh. Man, cold tea is so disappointing. God, I don't know, y'all. Let me think about this. Um... Um... Wait a minute, what does this say? Oh, 1:30. Oh. Well, I don't know if that really... Something about this seems weird. I'm not really sure what it is.
Objection!
Well, let's try it. Iced tea is fantastic, but iced tea is designed to be drank as iced tea, and you don't make hot tea intending to drink hot tea, and then then you're not okay with the same tea getting cold. Separate circumstances, I guess. The argument still stands. You say, I think not, Inspector. Come again. I think you'll find that you've overlooked a very significant chronological inconsistency. It is the time, okay. A chrono what? What are you on about? According to this report, the victim must have consumed the poison at around 1:30 in the morning. And yet, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, left the victim's room at 11. Ah! Yes, that's right. There's more than 2 hours of missing time there. Oh, I guess, why wasn't I wasn't thinking properly. I don't know what I knew something was wrong with the time, but I couldn't, for some reason, it didn't occur to me what was wrong with the time. Like, how exactly this was gonna play out. Well, I got there, so, oof. In other words, if there was poison in the tea that Mr. Natsume brought to the victim's room, how could the victim have fallen ill to it 2.5 full hours after the defendant left? Oh wow, they had the same sprite and everything. It's so fun. I love that.
The ventral argument is entirely reasonable. How do you respond, Lord Banzix?
With wine, naturally. With wine, naturally. Pray forgive the discourtesy if my mind has wandered. I was considering what cuisine would best complement the contents of my hallowed chalice this luncheon. How could it have happened, you ask? I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nipponese friend appears to be chasing a phantom idea. Phantom? Is it so hard to imagine that the victim drank his tea after the accused had left? For example, at the time stated in the medical report. Yes, at around 1:30. Mr. Natsume brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor, and in Japan there is a well-known saying, drink tea while it's hot. And in my country there's an even more apt saying, there's nothing more refreshing than cold tea. The point is, if there was such a long gap, there may be other ways to explain how the victim came to be poisoned, other possibilities.
What sort of possibilities, Counsel?
Well, for example, the man could have had another visitor.
Another visitor? It's a very bold assertion, my learned friend, from someone who has nothing to substantiate it.
Or the victim could have taken the poison of his own will. What?
You suggest this may have been a suicide, Counsel?
Mr. Shamspeare has categorically denied suicide. The idea can and must be discounted. But he could be lying. I was listening to the sound of the carriage pulling up outside the courtroom. Pray forgive the discourtesy. Carriage? What carriage? It would seem that the key player in this case has just arrived. Is it the victim? Out the brief candle lies but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Good mocap.
Who, sir, are you?
William Shakespeare, my lord. Alas, 'twas I, undone by those bitter events. I am the victim. What? What's he doing here? The prosecution seeks to call this gentleman to the stand. With his testimony, my learned friend's futile resistance will be utterly crushed. Yeah, Paper Star, you seem to not like, Pop Doodle over here. He held out loud, no, go back to death. Oh my god. Calling him as a witness?
Very well, counsel. I grant your request with interest. I'm curious to discover something.
Happy am I, Shakespeare, to regale thee with my tale of woe, my lord. But I still have my own tale to tell, my own tale of worse woe. I can regale the court with the tale of my perfect innocence in perfect English.
It will do, Mr. Natsume. Let the court now hear from the victim.
Oh my god, so happy. Oh, it's you! Alright, so that's Mr. Shakespeare. Who's that other man beside him? Yes, I feel sure that we've caught a glimpse of that man before. State your names and occupations for the court, please, witnesses. A writer of words so sweet they do scent the breeze, an inventor of ideas so profound they compose the earth. The unrivaled poet and the unmatched scribe, William Shakespeare, with a great bard to be recalled to life anew. Lo, what a magnificent man. Good fellows, I am he who ponders such a miracle, William Shakespeare. Oh wow. The name's... Bye. Come on, bye. Name's Meterman. No.
The name's Meterman. I'm John B. Meterman.
I work for the Altamont Gas Company, East End branch office. Ah, I remember now. It was yesterday on Briar Road. Oh yes, she's right. It's him. Man, what a chin. What a fucking chin going on over there. Something wrong, Mr. Nadahodo? Oh, yeah. Yes, we spotted him outside Mr. Garadeb's house that morning. He's a gas company employee? What does he have to do with this case?
So, Mr. William Shakespeare, you were the victim in this miserable affair, correct?
Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember that sweet poison that didst cross mine innocent lips?
I subpoenaed him for the trial with his doctor's permission, naturally. Hearing the testimony of the aggrieved will remove any room for doubt from the jurors' minds, I'm sure.
The harp. Behold, you only have to rearrange the letters of my name to see that Miss Seraph. An angel indeed. Thus I be noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart, as all heavenly angels must be. Because there is no less contrived meaning to your name. No, not at all. The jurors seem to be very moved by this man, I'm afraid. They're actually taking this Seraph anagram idea seriously?
Thank you, witnesses, for your illuminating introductions.
My lord, what's the man next to Mr. Shamspeare doing? The Gaspin, I mean.
What? Me? Well, no.
Allow me to enlighten my learned friend. You recall, I presume, your earlier impertinence, when you suggested that the victim had another visitor to his room on the night in question. Moreover, that the victim is a compulsive liar. What? No, I didn't quite say that. This young chin-stroker has made a controversial, wild claim. Conclusively. Is that not so, Mr. Meaterman? Hang on, no, I'm just here. I'm not gonna do another British voice of this guy.
I hereby call for your formal testimonies. You will tell the court as lucidly as possible what happened on the night in question.
One may smile and be a villain. Yes, it doth pain me, but let the truth be spoken, the truth of that wintry night of my discomfort. Oh, this ought to be good. God, so happy. Oh, discontent, not discomfort. The snow lay about, my neighbour did cometh in the evening, bearing a gift of tea. But marry bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall prostrate on my table. Prostrate. 'Twas the tea alone that did pass my lips in that late hour, not else. I was outside this bloke's window in freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. No one else visited his room but that short little round-backed eastern fella. I can't do southern again. I just said southern for many mellow. Wait, what did you say? You were keeping an eye on Mr. Shamspeare's room all night?
That's right. Of course, the bloke's window is all but blocked up, isn't it? There's a little gap in the bricks where you can see into the room. I spent the night trying to keep my teeth from chattering as I peered in through that. The question is, why? Ah, well now, that's because he's on my list. What a piece of work as a man. Wherefore wouldst thou not stare in wonderment?
What are you talking about?
This buzzing busybody hath no part in this play. I pray thee, pay him no heed, make no more ado about his tedious words.
Oh, he looks like a bee.
A bee? What'd you say about me?
Calm yourself. This court is concerned with what happened on the night in question. Nothing more.
Indeed, that is so.
And as the testimony we have just heard clearly reveals, there was no one other than the accused present at the time who could have carried out this crime. Look at him talking.
Well, I believe this may be fine.
No, it's not.
Oh, counsel, the defense. Yeah.
Yes, my lord. Yes, Mr. Judge. God, I can't get over his so happy face. Like, a dude just got poisoned. Put a frown on it.
Yeah, I don't care, but like, whatever.
Hold it!
Be clear, by neighbor you referring to the defendant, Mr. Natsume?
Oh, indeed, sire. Perhaps perchance thou wouldst I call him the man from upstairs?
And at what time did the mustachioed Nipponese visit you in your room?
Our meeting was promised for the hour of 9, and lo, he did come to tender a gift of fragrant tea. Details which are in accordance with the defendant's own testimony, yes. And we were broiled in such a literary debate as history has not seen before.
By which I presume he means their discussion about who was stronger, Romeo or Juliet.
I, Shakespeare, did play the part of the young Romeo, whose my neighbour did play the fair Juliet. It was just done for would it not our characters be, to bring weight upon our merry experiment. I dare not imagine the scheme. Frailty, thy name is woman.
Canst thou imagine how dismayed I was? Yes, I had just heard of the Eastern art of Jujutsu, which is spelled wrong, I think. Huh. Ne'er did I dream 'twould be a skill practiced by the comely maiden. Juliet beat Romeo up. This is not helping our case, but it would make a much better version of Romeo and Juliet. I believe the court has heard enough about your earth-shattering literary debate. Perhaps you could reiterate your statement about the tea that the accused brought to your room. My liege, I am thy servant. Gladly I would do thy bidding. God, I get such Florent LaBelle vibes from this dude.
Hold it!
Let me stop you there. Mr. Natsume left your room at 11 o'clock, but it wasn't until after 2 that the poison made you collapse. That amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. If the defendant really put poison into your tea, then the 3-hour window of time is something you're going to have to explain. Gladly, 'tis an easy task. What? I did drink the tea not while my guest did tarry, but after he took leave of me. Faith, 'twas stone cold, but at 1 hour post midnight, verily were my lips parted.
Objection!
That doesn't sound normal. Nay, 'tis quite ordinary, sire, after all. Though thou wouldst recall our fiery debate. Amidst such argument, there'd be no time for fiery tea. Romeo and Juliet again. And who was stronger? And who was stronger? Mr. Shamsphere, in summary, allow me to confirm. Did you not come here with the intention of naming your attacker? But of course, my liege. Was the stupid lover of words did attempt to shuffle me off this mortal coil. Ugh. I don't know what that means.
Hold it!
So, you didn't have any kind of evening meal? Dinner? Supper? Huh. Fie on luxury, fie on gluttony. To eat thrice daily is but a waste of time. Sorry. I would that my belly were full. No more often the sun doth rise. Oh, most heroic eating habits, I must say. Night and day do fill my hours with learned study of the great bard and playwright. Hence is it that doth not be in my chamber be than the costume. Doth not in my chamber be than the costumes of mine art. That would appear to be the case, as even a rodent was found starved to death in your room. Now I think of it, it's not just food that was conspicuously missing from that room, is it? I don't recall seeing a single player script anywhere. For I have devoured them all. You've eaten them? Every word would be within my skull. Didst thou imagine otherwise? Right, that wasn't misleading at all. Now, could you turn around, do you think? Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way the poison could have passed the victim's lips is in the tea. I wanna learn more about this, but then I think I have an idea of what it is. The windows of that house have all been filled in. A historical artifact of the now defunct window text. Oh my god, the window text is back. Just back in full force. Yeah, you're right there, all bricked up horribly. But as it happens, there's a little part of the brickwork to the bottom corner. At the bottom corner that had been opened up. I was looking in through that gap. Yes, there were a few bricks loose, weren't there? And for some strange reason, a couple of bars of soap lined up on the ledge outside as well. I don't like going around poking my chin into other people's business, especially on freezing cold nights. But then it's my order, so that's what I'll keep doing, as long as there's breath in my body. Still theatricals today. Out of interest, Mr. Meterman. After the accused had left and returned to his own lodgings, did you see the victim leave the room at all? No, he never left. He was in that room the whole time, as far as I'm concerned. We could therefore discount the possibility of suicide. How can you be sure of that? Police carried out a thorough investigation at the scene and found no receptacle for the poison. And as we know, the victim didn't leave his room and therefore hence didn't dispose of the poison's container himself.
clear that this was no attempt at suicide. Only the culprit could have removed the receptacle. Oh yes, yes, loosely explained, Counsel, thank you. Oops. You.
Hold it!
You say a short little in fact, Eastern fella, so you can't be sure it was the defendant.
Objection!
How many other short little round-back Nipponese with a mustache do you think there are in London? Well, of course, it's only a narrow gap and it was quite dark, so I didn't notice the mustache. But he showed up at around 9, so I'm pretty sure of myself.
And when the person you saw arrived, did he and Mr. Shamspear drink tea together?
Nah, no, sorry, I couldn't say.
Why not?
Because I couldn't see into the room all that well, could I? What I did see was the silhouette of that little round-back fellow wearing a pretty dress. So then the pair of them started some kind of wrestling match, I tell you. I didn't know what was to make of it.
Suppose that was the Romeo and Juliet championship battle getting underway. Mr. Meaterman, allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you state with certainty no one else visited the victim on the night in question?
No question, Gaston's honor.
Who that? Oh boy.
My lord.
Oh boy, Mr. Fairplay. Goodness me. Yes, Mr. Foreman. I've kept my mouth shut and listened up to now, but this has gone on long enough. Are you all with me?
Yes.
Are we to understand that you ladies and gentlemen of the jury are in agreement with one another? That you've reached a unanimous decision?
You're right, we have. Are you all with me? Yes.
Wait, no. The defense is in the middle of a cross-examination.
To be honest, I was holding out a bit of hope for you, young man. Especially after you identified those few hours of all of the accused living victim's room.
Yes, the 3 missing hours, as you put it. But in the end, what difference do they make? None as far as I can see.
And since that's now apparent, there's really no reason to delay our decision any longer. Like I was saying before, if I don't take Fight Bob home with me tonight, the missus will blow her top. Eh? What's that? I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said. Very well, let the court be apprised of your decisions. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty!
Guilty.
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 Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty.
All of you? Well, it would appear that the jury is indeed unanimous. So, this time at least seems justice will be done. All's well that ends well, as they say. This calls for a toast, I feel. To the guilty being punished. Oh, Mr. Naruto, please. The trial isn't over yet. What do you mean, Mr. Sugata? What about the information I found in this Encyclopedia of British Law I have? The obscure right that belongs to the defense in the situations, remember? A summation examination. Yes, that's right. We don't have a jury in Japanese courts, of course. Here in a British court of law, we can reverse the decisions of a majority of the jurors. We can force the trial to continue. This trial canon now. Whatever it takes, I just can't let that happen. The defense moves to invoke its right to a summation examination, my lord. Oh boy. Why am I not surprised at my learned Nipponese friend's inability to admit defeat? You choose to cling desperately to some archaic rule you barely comprehend instead of accepting the truth.
certainly know what the defense counsel in recent times has exercised the right to a summation examination.
Because they all know that once a jury's mind is set, it cannot be altered.
Nevertheless, the right remains and must be upheld. The defense counsel's request is granted. The court will proceed with the summation examination as outlined in the Encyclopedia of British Law.
Thank you, my lord.
Are you and your fellows prepared, Mr. Foreman?
Believe me, my lord, we know all about this young man's
Tenacity, and we're ready for it. Very well. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby call upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime for which he stands accused. Victor may not be well off, but he's a noble man, straight up. There's no reason to doubt the man.
Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid. Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoops all the while, and with a mustache. Very fishy.
There's no evidence to suggest that the gangling actor is a falseman, for now at least.
I really don't care. I just need this trial to end quickly.
3 hours of missing time. 3 hours of missing time. It's nothing when you reach my age, you know, nothing at all. Guilty.
I knew it. Every single one of them seems completely convinced. It seems that all the jurors have come to this conclusion that Mr. Shamspeare is a fine, upstanding, and honest citizen. If you ask me, they've all been bewitched by his strange theatrical movements. And sadly, nothing Mr. Natsume has said appears to have registered at all. Well, here goes, let's not forget. Yeah. Before we begin, it might be an no. No need. Thank you for the kind offer, Mrs. Sato, but I've been to... Yep. Yay! That's how it should be. Do you need to know? No. Cool, but if you need to know later, you can always... If you need to know at some point, if you forget, just tell me and I'll remind you. I mean, two that are contradicting, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yes, my lord. God, turn that smile upside down already back there.
Hold it!
There are plenty of people in London who seem noble but poor. Couldn't some of them also be liars?
I've no doubt about it. Like that shaky client of yours, for example.
Absolutely not. Mr. Natsume is no liar.
Look, the point is that the only thing that passed the victim's lips that night was the Japanese man's tea. When you take the gasman's testimony into account, well, the truth couldn't be any clearer.
Ah, well, that's alarmingly logical.
Hey, Frankie, I'm a gentleman with a gentleman's values. If it turns out the old Shakespearean chum is a rotten liar after all, I'd gladly change my decision about the defendant. I'm sure my fellow gentlemen on the jury would do the same, isn't that right?
Well, yes, perhaps, though I don't see it happening.
What's that? Elderly gentleman, and, you know, we all have to speak up. Well,
I don't really care about all this nonsense. I just need this trial wheel. Not guilty. How many gentlemen do we actually have in the jury then? He's dressed nobly.
I guess, I don't know.
I agree with you. He's suspicious. Alright, sir, I may hold you to that. Don't forget what you said.
Hold it!
Are you saying you believe the man to be trustworthy because he's rather splendid? No, that's not what I said. The point is the man's the victim here. What reason would he have to lie? And yes, he is rather splendid.
You say, yet again.
Meanwhile, the man who stands accused behaves so suspiciously it's exhausting to look at him. I'm afraid he's not splendid at all.
Splendid logic there, madam. Thank you so much.
Hold it!
No, not one of those things is a reason to find the man guilty. But he is fishy. There's no point in dancing around the fact. He's Japanese, he has a mustache, and he stoops. You see, you arrive at the conclusion as 3 steps. 3 steps like a waltz, in fact. You know, the more I think about it, the more this trial seems like a dance. A dance. You'll be several steps ahead of yourself, though, when you're on the wrong foot. No, there's nothing but circumstantial evidence here. There's no actual proof of the defendant's guilt. But the victim's version of events stacked up what that big chin man next to him says, isn't it? 1, he saw the Japanese man there. 2, he saw no one else. And 3, he saw the Japanese man there. Oh, that's another 3 steps. Yeah. Right. The prosecution will waltz its way to victory if I let you speak much more.
Hold it!
A fraudsman? What do you mean by that, madam?
It really is a most tiresome problem for the company, most irritating.
We can be absolutely certain that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence, we can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued. I'm sorry, you've lost me a little there. Who are you? I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont, the owner of the Altamont Gas Company. Really? Random, my ass. Come on now. She is very pretty.
Good gracious, Altamont Gas, you say?
This is the future of the energy in this country and around the globe, but proper handling is essential. As I'm sure our employee from the East End branch office would be the first to agree. Absolutely, Lady Quinby. Got to be used properly.
Absolutely, Lady Quinby. Gotta be used properly. Altamont Gas is the best in the world, of course.
I think they may have solved the mystery of the bow from earlier, Mr. Naruto. Oh, right. He bowed in deference to his employer's wife, did he? Ah, so would I be right in assuming the reason Mr. Meterman was watching what Mr. Shamspeare was up to in his room? I'm afraid there's no end to the lengths the population of the East End will go to in order to steal our cars. I really have no choice but when the company identifies somebody as a possible fraudsman. But to dispatch a worker to watch the suspect day and night. We're very thorough in our investigations. So you mean Mr. Shamspeare is? I wouldn't commit the same public, but you can finish that sentence with a grubby little ghastly. You've noticed the public gallery in here, haven't you? Oh, shut up. Oh, shut up. When they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights in an ultimate Altamont gas explosion. I wonder what a little before the part about abject violence, if it's not too much trouble. Yes, of course.
Objection!
Here we go. Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious, to whose statements do you refer?
Oh, come on. Juror number 1.
Yeah, what are you yelling about, lad?
I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement, made by the wife of the owner of Altamont Gas.
Well, yes.
The victim, who you claim to be a noble, straight-up man, in fact, turns out to be a con thief.
So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I both heard them say as much.
It's true, we don't have evidence as such. Just yet. But the claims aren't baseless, you know.
What?
You heard me, seeing as his operation has already been compromised. I would suggest that the court hears testimony from our East End branch office employee over there.
I'll do whatever you say, my lady. Gasman's on it.
Juror number 1, you say you're a man of your word. If I could show Mr. Shamspeare was a liar, you assured me that you would reconsider your decision about the defendant's guilt.
Yes, I did say that. And as a man of honor, I'll hold to it. I'm sure the other gentlemen of the jury will.
Me? Oh, well, yes. Now that we found out the man's a liar, perhaps we ought to consider the matter further. Well, I'm perfectly honest, I've heard half of what you've all been saying, so this means you'll recap a few points. Oh my god, this man is a surgeon! Oh no. In that case, I shall change my meaning.
So, William Shakespeare, that is your real name. We of the jury demand to know exactly what kind of a man you really are.
That's 4 jurors, yeah. Yes, Mr. Navajo. Victorine.
Order, order.
Man, Blue, I'm sorry. I feel bad that she's taken. Little crush.
This is quite extraordinary, I must say. As a result of the defense's summation examination, the jury's leaning has changed. Now, only 2 jurors say guilty, with 4 say not guilty. I therefore declare this court to be in a state of disaccord.
Imagine having the name Chancery and then imagine having that name and naming your son really amazing. Yep.
And order the trial to continue.
Cute major who is not in this case, right? Yeah. At least I'm glad you like her.
You've spoilt the bouquet, Mr. Shakespeare. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury now find they are unable to trust you, the victim. But you gods will give us some faults to make mend. So God mend me, I do swear. This guestman speaketh that which concerns him most, not yes, not with thin air. It burneth bright a while, but it hath no substance, and it doth reek foul. Oi, what did you say? Do I take it, Mr. Shakespeare, that you deny the allegations of gas thievery? Most heartily, my lord. Hast thou forgot? I am a seraph, an angel, noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of
And wide of mouth. And you big of chin. Can't get over the size of your chin. You look like somebody. I'll think of it. Ah, you farty mouth pompous beanpole. Just cause I haven't got the evidence yet. Yeah, he does look like Popeye, yep. Mr. Shakespeare, if in fact you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart. If you are a liar. No, yeah, Popeye I think is definitely maybe who I was thinking of. I think I was thinking of Popeye, but I feel like there's somebody else who fits the bill too.
It is my considered opinion that at the present time no other possible culprit of the crime has been considered. Identified. All testimony heard by the court thus far has heavily implicated the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case. Oh no. However, in light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be inappropriate.
Objection!
Barry P. Pence. Oh no.
I assure you, my lord, that it would be a waste of the court's time. The gas in this case are unrelated.
Juror number 4. Yeah.
Yes?
Didn't you say before that although you had no hard evidence to prove this man's been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him?
That's right, we do. Don't we?
Welcome.
Absolutely, they win me Gasman's honor.
Very well then, we will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, has been stealing gas.
Yes, my lord, it'll be my pleasure. On the Altamont gas name, I swear.
If I may, my lord? Go ahead.
Go ahead, madam.
This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh yeah, sweetest honey, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Very well, an exception doesn't accept. Oh god. Thank you, my lord.
You wait till the boss gives you an earful. Oh, it's gonna sting you, mark my words. You will both testify before court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the Altamont Gas Company's fuel. Yes. Is that clear, my good man? Clear as Altamont Gas, my lady, which is the clearest in the world.
Do you think the gas has gone to his head, Mr. Sato? I think the man is just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruto.
I'm proud to be the company's East End branch investigator and meter money collection agent. Altamont gas meters accept through penny bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas.
And yet, the meter in this...
And yet, the meter in Mr. Shakespeare's room didn't have a single coin in it.
The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key.
Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. That's not thieving, what is?
And that's it. Pray forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn to my hallowed chalice. Yeah. Very bee-themed company, as it were.
What do you mean by that remark, Lord Van Zieks?
Did the mustachioed Nipponese poison the gangling excuse for an actor, or didn't he?
That is all that should concern this court. Yet now we must listen to this abhorrence.
Clearly what separates the vast British Empire and your Eastern Island nation is more than geographical distance. Hold on, I just wanna... Yeah, she's in the court record. He's 23. She's 38. Oh, 38 is not old, but like, damn. Where is she gonna come into this? I feel like there's a second investigation. But this could turn out to be crucial testimony. The cross-examination must speak. Go ahead. Ah, rip that dude. Do what you will. Lord Van Zieks appears to be in a violent mode. Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning and an incident of gas theft with no supporting evidence. It's true that they would appear to be completely unrelated at first glance. I wonder, who tends to be buried in those unusual places? There was a gas leak, wasn't there? There's something happened.
Hold it!
So does that mean you enter people's houses in order to empty their gas meters?
That I do. After I catch people when they're in, then I ask permission to come inside and do my business. In the chamber pot.
That mean you've been to Mr. Natsume's room before, as well as that of Mr. Shamsphere?
Well, now, interesting that you should bring that up. It's because I couldn't believe how little money was in his meter. I mean, the pair of them survived. How the pair of them survived the winter is beyond me. It really is.
Hey, Rosie, how you doing? How was Rhythm Heaven Fever? I think it was. Knowing Mr. Natsume, he probably spends all his gas money on books. When he was finished reading them, he probably burns them for warmth.
We will kindly reiterate your statement about gas meters themselves, Mr. Miedema. Almost saberly, but as you wish.
Nice. Glad. Alright.
Hold it!
So all London houses that have a gas supply are fitted with these gas meters, are they? They're the latest model, the height of technology, developed by our company, Altamont Gas. Anyone who uses our gas will have one of these meters in their property, yes. So a 3 pence coin gives 2 hours of gas. Most people use about 3 coins a night.
A bit more than that usually, if they have both gas lights and a gas stove, that is.
If they have both gas lights and a gas stove, that is. Think about it, Soseki-san doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he? Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and then they have gas for heating. Ah yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually. And how does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company?
Every 3 days, gasmen like me visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meters of coins.
Let's say the design and manufacture of the new meter company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying for their dues, for the most part.
Ah, because
Because they have to pay in advance, you mean? Yes, exactly right.
Hold it!
Not a single coin. Let's see what... Out of interest, how long has this been going on?
weeks and weeks. He's been pinching gas off us for ages.
And you've
Examine the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room, I take it.
Naturally, we took it off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb.
And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume.
No, I'm afraid we didn't. It's exactly why I demanded a new type of meter to be produced. One with an indestructible lock. The Shamspeare Special. That sounds like it would have cost an awful lot of 3-penny pieces. Even after all that, the rascal's meter was still empty.
I'll never forget the humiliation when I opened up the money box and found a bear. You what? I said, you what, mate? And the look on his face, that smarmy smile of his.
I know, I hate it too, dude.
I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the office, but you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of it being jemmied open anywhere, not a single sign.
What if he just used the stupid coin on a rope trick?
What's happened to my salary is down by 3 shillings a day, that's what.
Life-threatening situation in a number of ways. Incidentally, what became of that meter?
Nothing became of it. I've still got it.
Oh,
Right here.
you carry that thing on? No wonder they call you Meter Man.
Dude,
Alright, now it's ours. Definitely. Let's see what we got going on here. Sturdy link padlock. Beeswax, huh? Yeah, Mr. Shelmswood. Wait a minute, that little red piece. Oh, look at the hole. Oh, what? Have you spotted something? Just here, this little hole, do you see? Goodness, you're right. I never would have known. Not very professionally made. Possibly. People. I wonder if that little red indentation in the soap. I bet you this dude's helping with the gas thievery. They seem to be acquainted.
Let's move this along, shall we? Continue with your testimony. Though I would say it has as much value as the contents of that meter. Oof.
Oof! Well, it does appear to have been tampered with. Shit. It does appear to have been tampered with. I just want to do this.
Objection!
Lady Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of having been tampered with. What?
Get away! I've been over and over that thing. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it.
In that case, what do you say? What do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box?
Oh, what?
You're right. You're quite right. There's a little hole here. The meter's not supposed to have that. None of the others do. So we can assume that Mr. Shamspeare secretly opened up this hole himself. Yes, I wouldn't be at all surprised, but why? Yeah, why?
I mean, it's tiny. You couldn't get a fourth in through that.
Lady Altamont. I wonder if you could give the court some more details about your meter design. What sort of details? Well, what I just relate how it differentiates coins? I would like to know both of these things, but what do you mean? Well, for example, if someone would put one penny, that wouldn't work presumably, would it? No, of course not. So, well, how does the meter know that the coin has been fed as a through penny bit? Ah, I see what you're getting at now. The meter tells codes apart of their shape and size, which includes their thickness. A through penny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. You see, other coins just won't fit. I see. It's really been very well thought out. Really? We're going back to...
Hold it!
Ah, let's see. I think I have the picture. But conversely then, it would seem that anything matching a 3 pence coin exactly in terms of diameter and thickness could equally well be used. Would that be true? Well, yes, in a way. The weight comes into it to a certain extent as well.
We've thought of that though, anyway. If I find any fake coins inside the coin box when I empty the meter, the contract says the customer has to pay 100 times the amount they did a less fine. We live for moments like that as Gasman do. Live for them.
It seemed the gas company sold off everything.
Wahoo! Hurrah for gas! Hurrah for cash! Altamont all the way!
It's quite enough of that. Remind me, how big are 3 penny bits? About 3/4 of an inch across. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Mm-hmm. Interesting that they would not make that the first. They would not do that the first time I brought it up,
Objection!
or the first time I examined it, because the second it updated the evidence, but not completely. It didn't do anything about the measurement, so that was just a hunch on my part. This case seems interesting. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any object as if it were a 3 penny bit, correct? Yes, that is correct. Well, by something of coincidence, when we were investigating in Mr. Shamspeare's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly. Something the same size as the 3 penny bit. What was it? The item in question is this. Well, have you been inhaling gas?
Have you been inhaling gas? That's a bar of soap.
It certainly looks nothing like a 3 penny bit, I must say. Looks like I'm gonna have to point out exactly what I mean here. Okay, present.
Got it!
You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean. Ah! You're referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there. That's right. Almost exactly the same size as a 3 penny bit.
Get away! Does anyone here in the possession of 3 penny bit? Okay, now hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen.
Sounds rather like highway robbery, doesn't it? Who had it? I want to know who No, it's the same. Oh, okay, it was the public.
Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have here a 3 penny bit. Here it is. My word, it couldn't be more snug.
Yes, as I suspected, this, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Altamont Gas Company is being defrauded.
Well, I don't believe it.
Oh, she really is a bee. Look at that. Oh. So your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas? Yes. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a through penny. I must concur, at least, that pushing a coin with some force into a poor quality bar of soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape. And then you can use, well, some melted wax or... And then you can use some melted wax or something important to the mold. You can make fake coins in no time. Brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the method Mr. Shansby has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. Follow the chain of thought. Going to bring me to a new explanation of what happened that nobody's considered yet. But this is all nonsense. If the man had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he entered the meter. True, Lady Altamont. In the absence of some black magic, we make them disappear. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There's one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air, yes. Exactly, and the meter here gives it away. What on earth? There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. Oh boy, hold on, I just want to check something. That's your session. What? This ought to be good. Stuck on this for 10 minutes? Let's see if I can find it. You could melt wax and have it drip through there, though. I mean, it doesn't seem that difficult. No, stop with the padlock. Oh my god. God, this song. Oh, meow 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 meow. But I can. That's all I can hear. Oh, is that a burn mark or something on the... There must be a burn mark somewhere on the thing. That looks... Hold on. What is that? Nope, that's... Okay, that is nothing. I thought it was a little darker. I was wrong. Oh, it must just be the hole.
Got it!
It's the only thing I could do. We found a bar of soap. Outside? Yes, outside. Where you yourself, Mr. Meterman, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found the soap. Ah, I get it. That's right. The answer, of course, is ice. Did you say ice? Oh. Mr. Shamspeare has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening, filled with water. Oh. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. Then he takes his fake coins vice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in spades. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice is now inside the meter's coin box melts, turning back into water and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the chamber. Oh, and I know what the proof is. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas. I know exactly what to do. Just like that, so simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all with some bars of soap and some water. That's right, madam. I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? Now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water can render it totally useless. I'm fairly sure I didn't design it. Evidence! Oh boy, I know what the evidence is. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she? Very well, Lady Altamont. If you like evidence, I'll provide it. What? Yes, I have the evidence. I know what it is. I was looking at it. See here, the dude peed. In an accident. It happens. Couldn't take off his puffy pants in time, and you know what it is? Whatever. This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson, and it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamspeare. What remnants? Of despair? Here you can see the gas meter on the wall in Mr. Shamspeare's room. Now look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. It's pee! What is that? Some kind of crappy stain? Well, certainly, it's a pee stain resulting from the liquid that drained out of his penis when he couldn't get his pants off. Ah! If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage, and the occupant was heating his room in all his waking hours, we can imagine he would use around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor. This is awful. And there's further evidence too. Mr. Shamspeare is slumped over the table, apparently having consumed strychnine. And right there next to him is a bar of soap, broken in half. You're right.
It appeared to me then, Counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he?
Oh god, Judge.
Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but certainly not.
He didn't beat about the bush there, did he? In truth, Mr. Shamspeare has found a fork in his hand.
A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely. A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely, Lord Manzix. You mean to say he was using that fork to...
Yes. To extract a frozen coin from the bar of soap. Ah! Or broken half. So perhaps it didn't go very well.
Good gracious.
Oh, 2 bottles thrown in the gallery. Lord Van Zeeks.
I was throwing my hand up in the air sometimes, saying, "Hey, yo. What the hell, yo?"
And happened to catch my hallowed bottle in the way. Pray forgive my maladroit mistake. That is a fantastic word. Maladroit. Trust me, they went through that whole spiel in the investigation. Mr. Sholmes admitted to having tasted some soap once, or just out of curiosity, and it didn't go well.
What is the meaning of this, Counsel?
Allow me to pose my learned friend a question.
What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination?
Well, that Mr. William Shamspeare is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable. That's it. That's exactly it.
Very well, let us assume the man is a liar. Now, allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make?
Well, we know that suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no other sign of another vessel that contained poison. And on the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except the accused. The young gasman's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Even if William Shakespeare is the liar you claim him to be, the facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Oh, I do dig this song too. Therefore, in light of these facts, prosecution calls for immediate adjudication. You... what? Mate? Oh, come on, we're not gonna get some immediate adjudication. Unless this is one of those things where, like, you lose, and then the next... another thing happens. I don't know.
Well, counsel, how does the defense respond?
Mr. Naruhodo. He's dead. No, he's not fine. What was the point of that last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Or did it make no difference at all, like Lord Van Zeeks is saying? We've got to raise an objection. What are we going to do? Wait and see? No, this isn't over. The defense will not rest. What?
But, counsel, you've successfully explained everything. You identified and substantiated the unscrupulous. Yes. What more is there to discuss?
Lord Van Zeeks just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point, but contrary to what he would have the court believe, not all of them have been objectively established at all.
What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend?
God, he's so hot. At least one of those so-called facts is an assumption, made due to a lack of evidence. But the situation has changed now following the cross-examination of the latest witnesses to take a stand.
Don't be absurd. What is this nonsense?
Yes, yes, yes.
So that.
We've all been led to believe that the strychnine poison that affected Mr. Shakespeare was in the tea brought in by Mr. Natsume. That's conjecture at best.
Objection!
The victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There is no other possibility. And since there is no trace of the tea left at the scene, it couldn't be tested for traces of the poison. As I said, the situation has changed, because in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene. Sorry.
Objection!
A ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard detectives investigated the scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed?
Take that!
Oh. Wait, do I have to check this again? I want to make... hold on, before I thought exactly. Got that. Oh, wait a minute. I remember. Can't see that from here, though. Once tasted hand sanitizer? Ooh, that's disgusting. That sounds awful, actually. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Oh, is it in the stupid soap? Is that what happened? That might be it. Hold on, let me think about this. Oh.
Take that!
Good gracious. The soap again?
Yes, that's right, my lord. It's just come back to me. Something about this flip. So when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday. It's more bars of soap. Soap, yeah. Oh no. Oh no. We originally stumbled upon the bars of soap that was actually a frozen coin in each bar. Yes. We discovered the vagacities of the coin factory. How fascinating. In a way, yes, but there's more. But wait, there's more. The coins we found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice.
There was something strange about them, you mean?
Exactly, something very obviously strange. They were red. The ice was red.
Oh, you mean...
That's right, it's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea. Iced tea.
What?
I would remind the court of a statement made by Mr. Natsume earlier in this trial.
That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspeare's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought bottled water especially to make it.
Oh, poor thing.
Ah yes, I believe there had been snowfall that day. It was particularly cold. Then, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the East End are prone to freezing.
So on the night in question, Mr. Shamspeare, having no running water to use, was forced to use a tea brought by Mr. Natsume in order to make fake coins. Fake coins. Like 2 bars of soap on the window ledge, yeah? That's right, and we only borrowed one of them. Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime, frozen solid in a bar of soap outside Mr. Shamspeare's window.
Extraordinary.
Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that even if 1 drop of the tea remained, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poison. As such, we are now in a position to prove or disprove what has until now been mere conjecture, by finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsume's tea actually contains strychnine at all.
Oh, you smug Nipponese.
My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. Police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once, and the defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it, to determine whether or not it contains any poison. Yeah, Ryu, you tell him, baby.
Bailiff, smack his nuts.
Yes, my lord, understood.
Smack his nuts. Smack him. It would seem we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no exaction, Lord Banzix.
None, my lord.
Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. The prosecution and defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim.
Yes, my lord. Oh, thank God we're not going too much longer. Well, managed to scrape through there somehow.
Thank you, Counsel's Court is adjourned until tomorrow.
Well, if this is the to be continued, then like I'm gonna end it here, and we'll pick this up next time I stream this, which will definitely, it might be Thursday, but if not, then definitely Sunday. Just a reminder that on Friday, instead of this, I will be on Junibug's channel playing my first ever game of Monster Prom, so that is exciting. Cannot wait for it. I've never played it before, as I said, and I'm scared, and I'm sure I'll do so badly. So come and give me your support. In case some of you are not following me on Twitter, you can do that. I post about nothing, everything. I don't know. My Twitter's a mess. There is our Discord server where we talk about whatever. We do crosswords together. We would love to have anybody who would like to join. And if you are looking for other people to follow, please consider checking out twitch.tv/team/smiletime, where you can find all sorts of fantastic streamers that just incredible people. If you're ever, there's usually somebody out there streaming at any given time, so hopefully I don't get proven wrong right now. Okay, but I think that is it. I don't know what my raid message is going to be, honestly. Actually, I know. I'm doing that Meow Mix objection song. And then we are going to figure out who to raid, so, God, there's no music, it's so harrowing. Let's see, there's, oh, there's Keon. I haven't raided Keon in a long time. Playing Kirby Superstar, which, as many of you know, I did a race the other day, like a couple weeks ago, of that game. So let's send love to Keon. He's one of the streamers that you can find on that Smile Time link. And yes, I will. Certainly. Uh-oh. Okay, so we'll do that. Let's see. That's what Rosie said in Keon's chat. So let's raid him. Keon 2570. We're gonna raid him. And again, the raid message is gonna be Meow Mix objection song, and oh, it's follower or subscriber. Oh, unfortunate. But you know, that's okay. I'll still send him over. You'll just have to follow him, which is fine. I assume it's followers only mode. Yeah, it definitely is. Good night, everybody. You have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you the next time I stream, or whenever. I don't know. Figure it out. Peace.